Welcome to Unraveled Game Thoughts. I have Weather Machine today, and hopefully I will make fewer mistakes than I have in the previous playthroughs, but the goal here is just to show you how the solo operates, and I think it's relatively quick, even for a Vital Lacerda game. But even as I go through quickly, I'll try not to make so many mistakes that you can't, that I miss benefits and rewards and stuff, which is probably one of the things that can be pretty costly. So now it takes up a lot of space, so it's hard to see what I have down here. My board has some goals under it, goal tiles, which actually won't count for me at all unless I get them onto the board. And if I get them onto the board, then there's some other things I can do to get funding and things of that nature. We have some robots here. I have vouchers. This is kind of how I pay for actions, is by paying those vouchers. We have to explain how the game of Weather Machine works to some degree. You have a government section of the board. We have Lativ's weather machine. Lativ is the scientist who built this weather machine that's causing weather to go bad around the world, and the government is hiring us to come in and try to run experiments to fix it. And then we have the weather. What is the weather doing in the world? And there's ways we can try to correct it. So the influence of these things to some degree is whenever we run experiments in Lativ's lab, they're often going to make the weather worse if something happens here. And when the weather gets worse, if in the solo game at least, in two-player games, I'm not sure how this works out exactly, not two-player but multiplayer games. But in solo games, if two of these level 3 tiles come out, right now we have the level 2 tiles on top, and underneath those is level 3, well, if two of them come out, and at the end of your turn, there are two level 3 tiles, then you lose the game. Other things that can cause you to lose the game is your time running out. So if the last of these tiles is on the board, and we're going to get another one, and we can't, we lose the game. And if the Saboteurs accomplish something else, then you can lose the game for that as well. And I can't remember what that third thing is. I don't think it's, their deck runs out. Their deck runs out, and you can't draw any cards. I did lose one way that time. So we're going to get stuff from the government. A lot of times you're getting supplies. I say supplies, vouchers, really. Subsidies is what they're called in the game. And those are going to help you do other things in the game. It's very tight. I'm not going to win this game, most likely. The best I've done, I think they were at like 46, and I was at 26. Something like that, or 49 and 26. I have not, the first two games I played, I just never, I think I scored like 3-4 points, maybe. I think I scored 0 in the first game. Didn't know what I was doing. There's a lot of little interacting mechanisms here that you'll see here in a second. So, I'm not going to explain every rule. I'm just going to start playing and explain things as I go, because it's a lot easier to see how things interact with one another as the game is played. But it's helpful to know what those areas of the boards are. Those are good things. We have a voucher system, or a funding system. It's kind of a funding track at the top. One for the weather area, one for the lab, and one for the government. Those you're not going to get. There's income in the game, but it's I'll kind of talk about that as I play. And that is a sort of income to a degree, but it's convoluted how that ends up getting triggered. So let us, we have to get set up for solo. So for solo, you have this board, and I think I might have to reference the rules a couple times, but I think that I've got most of the solo down after playing, 5 plays or whatever. There's a bunch of pieces here we're not going to need, so we'll just have those sitting off to the side. That's the solo players. He's basically going to use his bots. That is his main deal, and we're not using any of the things that make it, this is like challenges that make solo harder. I can't beat it in normal, so I don't need to make it harder. We're just going to live with the hardest it is. But for setup, a couple of things we're going to do. One, not shuffle our cards backwards so that they get mixed up that way. But we are going to, my bot's there, that's good. We have to set up where he is starting. So we're going to turn a card over. This is his deck of Saboteur cards that we're using. And there are two different Saboteurs. So the first one shows us an area, and we're really looking for cards that have a main action. And we're just going to put him in the center part of the main action. And then he's going to take the tile from that area to become part of his supply. Then we're going to go look for another card that has the second Saboteur. And here we go. We have the second Saboteur. And it also displays a main area. So we're going to put it there. And he's going to take the, it's in a priority list here, which thing he is taking. So those are going to be on the top of our deck, or our discard pile. And that is that's like basically our previous report. I don't have as much room as I need here. Normally you'd put the active report up here, and you just have the draw pile over here. So I am going to just keep the draw pile over here to the left and turn over the top card due to lack of room. But you wouldn't, if you had bigger table space, then you would normally do that. So what I can see here is that the gray, I have a gray and a pink Saboteur, and the gray Saboteur is going to go to the government space for his first turn. And that's information that I get to know, which will potentially help me on my turn. There are some things that I can think through, because I'll get to take the first turn and I can influence where he goes. I will say that on these the first place at each of the main actions, there's 1, 2, 3 main actions, and then you have a supply action. There's a fifth area here, but only Latif ever goes there. And this first one is a more powerful action for them, for the Saboteurs. So if I can avoid them going there, it's kind of nice. It helps protect or keep me from falling behind too far. One of the things I get at the beginning of the game is a random part. I think I get a random part. I'm going to double check that, because now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, am I getting a random part? Maybe not supposed to. So let me double check the setup. Game setup. Office location. Is it on this page? Player laboratory. Transfer markers. Through markers. 1 machine part. 1 workshop tile. Random set of 9 goals. So, I know I don't have 9 goals because in the solo game you only take. There's some rules for which goals you take. I'm not going into significant detail on that. I'm just taking those. I just took the ones I took. And we'll put these other machine parts back on the deal here. And we'll take one of these tiles. This is a workshop tile. And to some degree I'm kind of, as far as why would I take those tiles, I am eyeballing areas where I'm going to maybe have to pay a chemical. And, well, actually, I played machine parts here, not chemicals. I will pay chemicals over here and here. These are probably the ones I like to go to the most, because I could potentially turn a weather tile over down the road, but I also have to offer a robot when I go to those places. So, excuse me. let's see what we want to do. I mean, it could be arbitrary. Now, the machine's going to run on this, but it actually won't make the weather worse unless there are bots in that area that make it run. So you can potentially get rewards if you have things in here, but the more it runs successfully, the worse it is for the weather. It makes the weather worse because it gives us a weather tile. So it's not something we necessarily want to happen often. And I believe one of these, yeah, this is the machine runs area. So it gives you a little bit of it's a lot of symbology here that obviously even after playing five times, I know what it does for the most part, but I don't know if I can read all the symbols just yet. And there's a whole thing for the Saboteurs here. I can kind of read that a little better after the first after playing it 4 times. But man, so I'm trying to figure out not where I want to start. What am I trying to figure out? Which of these? I'm trying to figure out which of these I want to put in my display, and it factors in because I can only hold one chemical anywhere at the beginning of the game, and it influences which chemicals I will be able to hold to one degree or another. And I think I want to give myself access to a blue chemical potentially. So we're going to do that. And what else do we want to? Where are we now? I'm gonna. I get at the beginning of the game. I get a kind of like one-off supply action where I have 4 vouchers that I start the game with, and I can just purchase stuff. I start the game first, so I don't have to worry about being the first player. I'm gonna get the first turn. Most likely, the Saboteurs will end up getting the first player spot down once they go to that spot, but I don't have to think about it too much at the beginning of the game. But if I want chemicals to start with, I'm going to need those, and I have to figure out what my first turn or 2 might be. This is probably where I struggle with this game. I'm not much of a chess player. I love games, and I don't mind thinking ahead a few turns in a less complex game, but this one there are lots of moving parts, and so thinking ahead on your turn, I kind of know generally that I want to get some of these vouchers up here, these subsidies and vouchers, and I know that I want to possibly try to correct a weather if I can, but that's very hard to do. I know I want to cite a paper, and in order to cite a paper, I'm going to have things set up to get probably some of these, because you need a set of 3, 1 of each color, in order to cite a paper. So I know that's a goal. So to some degree, I could, in theory, target a particular paper that might be worth citing. I see water is coming around here, but it's going to go through all of these before it gets to water. Snow might be an option, and snow is about to disappear from here, so that's not a bad option to consider. I would have to get snow over there, blue chemical. So I might go with, let's see, I will use 1 voucher to get a blue chemical. We'll do that. And what else do we want to do? I definitely want to get bots, so I will use another voucher to gain a bot. And what do we want to go up in? Well, I'm going to use the government area, so I will grab that bot, and that gives me a voucher in the government track. Whenever you take the bots from here, it gives you a thing. And I mean, I could just get all these single bots here. I'll probably use another voucher to go ahead, and I will grab, I think you can grab the top of the deck here too. I'm going to grab this. Oh, no. We want to create a way to make a machine part to add another chemical down here, because we probably will have to. And do I want to get another chemical, or do I want to wait on that? I will, for now, wait on it, and I will grab another bot, and I will increase my R&D 1. So we will do that, and I could use a science voucher. We have supply, government, lab, R&D, and science vouchers. Science vouchers are kind of like wilds. You can use them for anything. So I could use a science voucher to get another thing. And I might go ahead and use a science voucher, and I'll go ahead and get a chemical. Pop it on there. So I have that chemical for later. I don't think it'll hurt. But I don't want to use my last science voucher just yet. So I'm going to put that back out there. And that will be my first turn. So, or that is my supply turn. It's like a free supply turn. Everybody gets that even in a multiplayer game. So it's almost like outside of the game. And then I'm going to take my first turn. And this is tricky. If I leave this space here, the Saboteur, I know, will go there, and he will take a more powerful action. But if I go here, because this guy is to my left, I will actually get another voucher. I'll get 2 lab vouchers. So it's really tricky trying to figure out what is the cost, and is it worth it to do that? I have to give him 2 random chemicals, so forgot to do that at the beginning of the game. So he gets those random chemicals, and then we'll put these back into the supply area here. All right. I definitely want to go here. The question is, what do I want to do at this spot? Is it worth it just to get the extra lab voucher? Because I'm going to get 1 lab voucher anyway. I think denying him the extra chemical might be beneficial down the road. So I will just take the 1 lab voucher for going there. I get to go, well, actually, and I got to decide which action do I take. Do I take this action or to take this action? This cost me 2, this cost me 1. One of these actions gives me a voucher, and I would pay a machine part to get it, but it also gives me a bonus action if I go there. The other one will give me stuff. Now the catch with the stuff is I don't have a ton of room for stuff right now. However, I do have some room for stuff. And this is a free citation, but I don't want to use that yet, although it is a very powerful one. This will give me a free one of these without having to pay a gear, which is also pretty powerful, and 2 vouchers. I think I am going to use my my 2 vouchers here. I'm going to go to this side, and so I get this top. I'm going to take this one, or actually, rather, I'm flipping it. I'm not getting it. I'm just going to flip it. And I am going to get 2 actions out of this. So I'm going to get these 2 vouchers. Gives me a science voucher and a supply voucher. But I also will get that action, which is getting to take a single action here without having to pay a voucher, which is going to give me one of those. And I do have to place a robot. That's not out of the question. And it's going to have to be where I have a red thing. Because I don't have to pay the gear. We'll just put it from the side over here. But the question is, do I want to take one of these tiles or do I want to take one of these tiles? That is a tough one. And I think getting the robots might end up being the better of those two options. Although free actions are awful nice and not having to pay chemicals as well. So we've got some tough choices, and the robot could give me another gear. And gears, there's no action in the game that necessarily gives you gears. It's just, you just have to get them as the game goes on. So I think I am going to go in this spot here, and I'm going to take this one. I get that because I'm using a free action here, I'm getting to do just, the gear comes from the supply. I don't have to pay the gear. And then this robot will come over here to the side, and that's an action. I'll show you how I can use that here in the future. But for right now, I'm just going to let it sit there out of the way. Alright, that's my turn. It is the Saboteur's turn, because there you go, turn 2. So let's see what they do. He is going to move from here to here, and he's going to get action number 2. So he's doing just this bottom part here, and he's going to take a bot, and he's going to look for a place based on the previous priority where he can place the bot and get he really kind of probably wants to get matching symbols from the research tokens. So he would normally, now he's got to go where he has not a chemical. I don't think he looks for where he's got a matching chemical. He actually does, because he pays chemicals for it. And we're going to double check. This is probably one of the downsides of the solo here, is I have had to check this so many times, just because of it's a lot of rules. I think it's a David Tercey design, and it's lots of thinking through it. So determine which branch the saboteurs will interact with. You're going to ignore branches where the bot spaces are occupied, and branches with saboteurs have no chemicals matching any of the available spaces. Okay, so we don't have fully occupied spaces, and we have a blue and a white chemical, so we know that it's going to be one of these 3 spaces. And out of the remaining branches, they choose a branch which gains a research token that helps them the most to complete a set. So research tokens we know are here and here, so they're going to interact with these 2 spaces, and then tie is going to go to priority. So it's going to be this space here is where they're going to go. Alright, so they place a bot onto an empty space for which they have the matching chemical. First one. Move the chemical from the hideout to the supply. Now, I'm 90% sure I don't pay chemicals here. I hope I didn't cheat. I'm going to double check it in a second. And take the topmost available deal, like that. Topmost or bottommost subsidy based on the previous priority. So this leaves, and it just removes from the game. We'll just take that out of the game. That's one of the things they do. Now that did remind, that just makes me want to go double check and make sure I wasn't supposed to play a chemical on my turn. I don't think I do in that space. I don't see a symbol that indicates that, but I don't want to cheat either. I feel like usually I cheat myself because I forget the bonus actions, but this is one of those where you could cheat the other way. Adventure marker in a government space, 1 bot from workshop. After the workshop, matching the color, 1 subsidy, blah blah blah. Okay. Yeah, I don't pay a chemical there. I am only getting machine parts that match the space where I put a bot. So it costs me bots and machine parts typically, except I had the free one. Him, it does not cost those things. Now he does, we do put a machine part in there, and that is that. Alright, so he's taking his turn, Now he gets, I believe he gets to move up this marker. This is the target score. It starts on 35, and he moves it up every time if there's people to his left. That's kind of his bonus. I get bonuses for people being to my left. So does he. So that's what he gets. So now we're on turn 2. And I have to decide where I want to go. The other thing that I would do is move that report that we just used over and flip the next one. So I know he's going to the lab next. And I don't really have a huge advantage to going any other place, except that I probably want to get more government vouchers. And I could go to R&D. I've got 2 there. I can't do the second action until I've cited a paper. And you have to go here to cite a paper and use the second action. So right, these 2 actions are very hard to do until later in the game, and I'm kind of going to work toward them. But I think I was also supposed to get this. Oh, and I can show you that. So if I would have gotten this, not for that first action I did, but for the second action, the bonus action I got off of that one, I would have gotten this, and then I can move it to somewhere in here. Well, I'm going to move it to here. 2 of each of the slots will give you a bonus, and this one gives me 2 supplies, which is not bad. I like that because I actually want to go here. The first thing I do is I get 1 voucher of my choice in any place. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself another government voucher. So I'll probably end up going back over there. And Latif will move, and he's going to go there, and he is going to actually remove a tile. Oh, we forgot a thing. Sorry. Before I take my turn, this machine will try to run. It's going to look for water tiles. There aren't any, so nothing gets, the timer on the game doesn't go down, and he's going to move there. So that was a thing that was going to happen. Normally one of these disappears, but since there is no water out here for one to disappear, it just stays. So that's good for us. It's a longer timer in the game. That happens at the end of, after all the players have taken turns. Alright, so I went here, I got a voucher. Latif is going to move, and when he moves, what happens is he looks at where the robot is, and he takes one of these and takes him out of the game. So he does that here in government, and he does that there in R&D. He doesn't do it in the middle here. So he's done that, but that is also, moving Latif is a strategy to some degree, because I don't get any income until he gets here, and I'd like to get him here. The last game I played, I actually, probably if I'd gotten him to go here, it might have helped me win the game, or at least get much better score. But I never got him. He just kind of sat on the board and he never got there, and I never got income, so that kind of hurt. But now I have 3 supply vouchers here, and in order to do one of the things that I'm going to want to do later in the game, well, yeah, I'm going to have to increase the size of my machine here. What do you call it? It's like I'm trying to build a prototype, because that's the thing you do over here is you do the prototype, and I need to make this a little longer because you can only use machine parts in a single row. So I'm going to use 1 voucher for that, for sure. I'll put this out, and I'm still first player, so I don't need to change the player order or pay a voucher for that. It's tempting to get a robot, but chemicals are also tempting. And having a spot to put chemicals is pretty nice. So I'm going to go ahead and use another voucher. And I'm going to get this guy, put him down here, because that'll give me a spot for chemicals, which is very nice. And then I'll use my last voucher to get a green chemical, because I've played a few games where I had a hard time getting chemicals. So we're going to do it that way. And now it'll be the Saboteurs' turn, and they are going to go over here to the lab, and now they do bad things in the lab. So because they got to go to this space, and this, oh, actually, you know what I could do? Okay, I'm changing, because I can show you an action, I'm going to go back on my turn, and I'm going to put this chemical back. We're not going to get that last chemical. We'll build our shop out, but we won't do the last chemical. I'm at the supply location, so one of the things I can do is I can pay a supply, and I can look at the top 2 cards coming off of their deck. I can pick the next 2 and then the current report, and I pick one of these and I'm going to discard it. So the lab is the thing I really don't want them doing very often. I'm going to go ahead and discard the lab. And it cost me a voucher to do that, but I have to pay the voucher of the place where I'm at. But this is probably worth it because I don't want them doing the lab. This one, he's going to go to wherever Lativ is. Well, Lativ is already there. This is actually really bad for them at this point in the game. So I am going to go ahead and put that on top, and then this will be the current report coming up, and then it'll be their turn. So what happens when they are already at the location that the card indicates that they go to? Oh, actually, never mind. That won't work. That won't work at all. We want to do it this way. Because Lativ is there, he will actually go to the next location. That's what happens. I forgot. I was thinking they get if they can't take an action, they kind of just get a chemical. But I don't want them to do that. So we're going to have this guy go over here. And he's going to go there. So he's going to get a relatively powerful action. So the first place he goes is basically where he can gain a chemical, I believe. So unfortunately, you gotta watch me read this book still, because it takes a lot to get through these turns and make sure I'm not totally messing it up. But at R&D, we're going to start with step 1 because he got this space there, which is his first space he chooses, to a research space based on the weather and priority indicator of the previous report. So this is the previous report. He puts a bot based on the weather and priority indicator, so he wants to go here, and he is going to take the bottom spot. Now, I don't think he did start. He only gets something if he has the chemical to discard, and in this case, he doesn't have the chemical to discard. Now, I watched a playthrough that showed him pulling a chemical and putting it over there anyway, but I couldn't find anything in the rules that said you do that. If the Saboteurs have a chemical of the type depicted to the left of the chosen space, move it from their hideout to that space, and if they do this, then they get a research token from the chosen branch to their hideout, but he didn't do that. If there's no more research tokens in the chosen branch, you raise the target value by 5 and remove the lock token from the citation able. If they don't have the matching chemical, they place a bot and just continue with the rest of the steps. They just don't get research tokens. Okay. So the next thing, because he gets 2 actions there basically, branches that are full, branches with Saboteurs have no chemicals matching any of the available spaces. So he's got chemicals that match these 2. So these are the 2 he's going to go to, and he's certainly going to go for that one because he has the token for it. So he's going to choose that branch. He's going to move a bot to there based on priority. This is the lowest space he can go. And he is going to pay the chemical. They don't pay additional cost. And then they move a research token to there. And now he's going to do bad things because he's got those 3 research tokens. Let's double check how he does bad things. So he's got 3 research tokens that are of the same type. He removes them from the game, unfortunately, and then we take the extreme weather token matching that and we put it on top. If there's anything on there, then we would move it off, but that goes there. And I believe that also, because it's the first time one of those, so I could in theory cite that paper. Now, if it had already been removed, he'd get 5 for his target value, or we would discard the top of the security deck. But we're gonna or top of his deck. So we're going to do it that way, and we'll move that over and then put that there. Voila. All right, now what do I want to do? I have one government token, and I still have a lovely gear here that I can use. Whew. And I do like the idea of making Latif move, and he will move to this more powerful area here. Oh, actually, it's not my turn, because we're looking for wind up here. That's going to disappear. These are going to slide over. That slides up, goes down here, and then he moves over here. So our timer on the game just went down a tick. And I am going to try to make Latif get me money eventually. So it's going to give me a lab voucher. And Latif, if he's to my left, I get a science voucher. He's going to move there. That takes up the more powerful space on that one. And even though that guy's going to move there, that's not necessarily the best or what I want, but it will move him along and potentially get me a little bit of income here in the near future. I only have one government voucher. I'm going to use it, and I am going to place one of my robots out here. I'll tell you one thing I can do. I'm actually going to go do this before my turn, and technically before I even move. I can use this voucher, and what happens, and I don't know if the camera is capturing it, but the voucher I pulled from up here earlier, I put next to my board. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slots. So I can flip it over. It's almost like a free action. I can just get a robot. Now I have to pick from these top 6 that I have on my board, but I can pick any of them. And the gears are hard to get, so I'm just going to take one of the ones with a gear, because then when I do end up getting income, it will help me. It also might influence which space I decide to go to this turn, because I want to pick one of these things that's going to give me a good action to take. So that is a rather challenging choice. Ooh, science vouchers. That would be... Oh, I don't get those rewards. I don't know why I thought that. This is the meaty choice of the game. Is like, man, which of these actions do I want to try to take? Because I am going to get... Oh, and I need to move up that funding track, because I'm doing this action here. Oh, let's see. I'm placing a bot. Well, and I got to remember to get my gear. That's also important. Free actions are awfully good. And the R&D ones are pretty good. And I really want to go after rain. So I have a rain though. I don't really need that. I'd be better off getting another blue voucher. Chemicals don't hurt. Let's do that. I will gain the green from my robot over here, but I'm actually going to use the green right away, and I'm going to put it here. And I will take this one and then put my green deal there. And that's going to give me this token, which I'm going to put up here on the sun. Gives me something to target, and that's going to move me up one space because of the bonus from that at the end of my turn. Done. He gets to go. Alright, and so they're going to go, he's going to go to where Latif is, so he's going to take that spot, which is going to move Latif here, who's going to look for the sun token and knock it out. And then he's going to take this action, which is going to be looking for, he's going to try to place a robot down a place where he has a chemical, but he doesn't have a chemical. So this actually is one of the weakest things that he could do. He just looks at his previous report, and he's going to grab the chemical he doesn't have, or the lowest available in the cheapest section that he doesn't have, which is going to be a blue, and that's what he gets for his turn. And I'm going to double check that to make sure I'm not totally cheating him, but I'm pretty sure That is the absolute best thing that could have happened to me. They do, and they do discard the top port of the security deck. So they do that because that actually increases, it shortens the timer a little bit on the game. Are unable to choose a branch, discard the top card of the security report deck. The Saboteurs take one chemical from the supplies described earlier and then skip the rest of these steps. Okay. Alright. So, that's it. And then this is going to move here. And we're going to turn over the next one. Ooh. So, the other Saboteur is going to end up triggering that, him to go to income. Latif is going to go to income. So, this is going to influence my turn a little bit. Robot runs the machine and it goes there. Okay. Now, income, basically I'm going to get all the things that I can get from a robot. Like because any robot that's off, well then I'll get all those things. So, I really kind of want to get more robots off, if I can. And that is going to be interesting. Now I could get a robot over here. I could go to supply and use science vouchers, as I don't have any supply vouchers, but I could, well, and I could gain one supply voucher, so that wouldn't be bad just by going there. This is a tough choice, but I think getting the robots off is pretty significant. So, oh man, we could set ourselves up for more supply vouchers. The other thing I could do is go to research, but the thing is, Latif's here, and I have already used my science vouchers are full. I can't go any higher on science vouchers, so I think I'm going to go here, gain a supply voucher, and I am going to these cost 2 vouchers over here to get those, and the science vouchers are probably worth more. I think I'll pay the 1 supply voucher to get this robot, and I think I will pay 2 science vouchers to gain this robot. That first robot gave me a lab voucher, and the second robot gives me another science voucher back. But I think that's pretty good. I could pay 2 more to get this last one off, but I think I'm going to use R&D to do that, so I'm not going to mess with that. And then it's going to be the Saboteur's turn, so he's going to go over here, which raises the target value, which should have been raised before, because when he went to where Latif was, it would have raised again. And he's going to take R&D, and so for R&D, he's looking for a space that he has a chemical. He's going to be narrowed down to these 2 spaces for sure. And he wants something that can give him a one of these, so he is going to go here and use that chemical and get that, which is unfortunate. Gets him a step closer, and he is going to unlock this citation doing that. Yeah, because if he can't unlock, then he raises the target value. Wah, wah. Alright. Yep. I believe that's it. And Latif is going to move to his office, which means that we are going to get income at the end of this turn. So, they go, and I think the machine runs first. C is the last thing that happens. So we're going to remove a tile and shift that over. And then Latif is going to get us income. So now we're going to get all the things from our bot area. So I get a science voucher, I get a gear, I'll pick that in a second, I get a lab voucher, I get a R&D voucher, and I get a government voucher. Nice. And I will get a gear, and the question is, which gear do I want? I kind of want to go back and get another government subsidy. I'm going to go, I think I'm going to grab a blue gear. Actually, I should get green just in case he takes my spot, and I can still use that. Alright, so I'm going to do that. And that's income. And then Latif moves back over here. And it is still my turn because the bots haven't gone to where they would influence the turn there. Oh, they're going back to where Latif is. So they're going to move Latif, and they're going to get a couple of chemicals, I think, if I'm not mistaken. They take first place, and I believe they get a couple of chemicals. I can't remember 100%. But this is the, they will also raise the thing following Latif, our target value. So, all right. And I apologize. I'm mumbling to myself as I try to think through these actions. It's just kind of how I operate. All right. We've got to move these over and shift that down. Then decide where to go. I really was kind of setting it up to get another government subsidy here. Help myself out. And probably, it's kind of a win-win if I get that. Then I can take that again without paying the action. Like it. I like it. So if I go here, I'm going to get, I don't have room for a lab voucher. Now, one thing I can do as a free action is I could go 1, 2, 3. I can pay any 3 of another voucher to in place of something I want. So in this case, I think what I like to do is I'm going to pay 3 of my lab vouchers in lieu of 1 of my government vouchers that I want, so that I can take the second action first. And actually, this might still work. The other thing, the other free action I will do is use 3 science vouchers and gain a supply voucher. I'll do that as well. Because for my second action, or for these 2 vouchers, I'm going to do this. I'm not taking that yet, but that's going to give me 2 science vouchers back, and I get to take the first action here without paying a gear. I'm just going to do my bot, and I'm actually going to go here, and, well, let's think that through again, because I just realized something. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because I was thinking I want to get the same kind of token, but at this point it doesn't matter. And actually, I don't have to even pay. I don't even have to pay the gear, so it really doesn't matter. But I'm going to get this. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to take it. It comes to my area there, and then we're going to put a green gear in there, like so. And that is my turn. So the Saboteurs are going to follow him, which is going to push him over here. And he is going to look at this lovely machine and pull a token off, which is not going to hurt me too much because I'm really going for other tokens, but I do need to get them. The other thing is I forgot to grab that token, which I'll just put there. Alright, and I don't know, did I move my thing up? I don't think I moved my thing up. I'm going to move that up. All right. Where'd my water go? There it is. Okay. Lost track of where I was. He moved there, and I believe he gets chemicals. That's what I kind of think. I kind of think he gets chemicals there, but it's been a minute since he hasn't gone to supply in a while. You know, if you went to the supply at all the last turn, move the Saboteur's initiative marker. Okay, so I know he is going to be getting the initiative marker. They do 2 chemicals from the supply, which are basically going to be based on their what they don't have and the cheapest. So they'll get those 2. Okay, that's it. That's a turn. That's pretty easy turn when they go to the supply area. All right, so he is there. Let's move this and see what they're doing next. They're going to the lab, but he's already in the lab, so he's going to actually end up going there, and he won't take a lab action because he won't take the action where he's already at. So that's actually good. I'm going to leave that there because it'll kick him over to the next action. And then I think, I can't remember if I did this, but because Latif was here when he moved there, he would, the target value would go up. Well, we've got a reasonable array of supplies here. Chemicals, do I need chemical? Taking that action without having to place a gear, not bad. That would actually give me another supply voucher. So if I do that, what would I take? I like getting supply vouchers. I need to do I even need another gear? I'm going to need gears over here if I'm going to fix the weather at all. That's a trick that we can do later. And also getting any 2 vouchers can also be quite handy when you need them. So tough choices. My workshop's pretty well built out. I don't think I want to do that one. I'm gonna have to do something to get some points, and this is largely where to do it. I do like that this is coming up, and or potentially that, because I only have 1 robot here, and if I can get this robot for free down here, that will help me a bit. Won't hurt. But water is a place to go, so yeah, let's grab, what chemicals do we need? We need pink, and we need green or white for those chemicals. So those are options. Man, don't need them yet. Pink, green, or white. None of which I have. I can't do multiple of these at once. Shoot. I like being able to take that action for free. So I think what we'll do is do this. We want the lab for free. So we'll go here and we'll grab a lab action for free and put a blue tile there, and that will give us another voucher. Okay, so that was my subsidy that I used for that. Now I need to decide what the heck I want to do with my turn. Now going here, I could get some supplies, but I have to pay for everybody. I have to pay a voucher for everybody to my left in the supply area. So that's not a good area. This isn't a good area yet. I don't really want to go there. Although I do have the vouchers to do stuff, but I just don't want... I'm not quite there yet. And this is where I'd want to go, is in the water. Any of those I could go to. It's not too bad to go to anyone. There's no sun out, the sun's coming, and it's going to be worth 6. So actually I could go there. It wouldn't hurt. You give me an and I don't need R&D vouchers. So R&D is probably the better place to go, because that's going to give me a government voucher. And I'm going to move up here. I am not going to be able to do the first action. Or the second action. I'm going to do the first. So I'm going to have to pay a robot and some chemicals, and I might as well go after either rain or sun or wind. Wind still has plenty. It's closer to being run. I'm not sure if it's going to be the first thing out, but it's closer to being run. I'm not sure I ran this last time either, because I'm taking my turn, and I kind of think I forgot to do this one. Hopefully I'm not cheating myself and doing more than I should, because that's not going to help me for sure. Alright, I'm sort of swinging toward... No, we don't have the chemical for that one. Maybe wind would be better. But I do want that rain. And I can pay a gear there. Well, I think I can pay any gear. Oh no, I pay an extra chemical. I don't have that chemical. That's a problem. So, if we want to go here, really, this is the only place I have the requisite chemical I want, so that's unfortunate. Well, I've got fire. I could go over there. That would cost me an extra chemical, but it would give me a robot. I kind of like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to pay fire. I have to pay an extra chemical, which that's fine. It just goes back to supply. And I'm going to get a robot. So I got to take that one. But that's okay too, because that gives me another supply voucher. And I believe I get this, which unfortunately is not one that I needed. So I probably am not doing the right thing, but I'm going to get 2 supply vouchers anyway. Put it down there. And that is that, I believe. Yep, all those things. And yeah, so his turn. So they're not going to go there. They're going to go there onto the left. We're going to raise the target value, and he is going to target a place where he has a chemical. So it's going to be white or green. Can he get a token? No. So he's going to just go on priority, and winter first, and then rain doesn't have the chemical, and then wind has the chemical on wind. So he's going to go here, pay the chemical, and take that token. There he goes. Done. Alright, my turn. Now I have, I'm going to go ahead and use this voucher because I kind of want to, we're going to have to potentially do something there. I forget why the rain was kind of my target. Nah, I'll get this chemical. I'll get the pink. We'll target the sun probably, because that's coming out. Alright, so that's my government subsidy I used, and now, what do we want to do? Where do we want to go? I'm going to go here. I was just there, so here or there. Now, moving Lative could be highly beneficial to me, and that would give me a lab voucher and that. The question is, can I do anything there? Well, I have stuff I can do, so it's not bad subsidy wise. Yeah, I'll go ahead and go here because he will give me a lab and he will give me that, and he will move to here. It'll move me up this. I'll do this first action. It's going to cost me 1 voucher. I got to place a robot, and the question is, what am I going to place it on? I mean, we've got a green. I could complete that machine. That's not bad. I don't think it does anything for me, although I could get one of these, which could prove to be pretty helpful. So I think I will go here, and I'm going to take my green cog and put it there, and then I get one of these vouchers over here. And what does that give me? I forget what happens when the government runs their machine. And I've got all 3 there, so kind of lucked out on that. Alright, let's see. Supply. Government runs their machine. After performing a sell a part action, all bot spaces in the branch of the government machine are full. The government activates the branch. And to do so, follow these steps. Each player gains 3 CP for each of their bots in the just completed branch. So I get 9 climate points for that. Nice. Move 1 government marker from the government area to the leftmost empty space on the extreme weather tile for wind. So that's going to go there. Matches the branch if all the spaces on the extreme weather tile are now full. The weather is fixed. Return the tile to the top of the corresponding stack next to the board, discarding any breakthrough markers on it to the box. Got it. Cool. So that's it. So I got some points. Hey, sometimes in this game that is what I want. And I forgot to move this last turn so that I could see what his next card was. They're following Latif, and that's going to move him closer to income. I'm not real excited about them doing an experiment there, but last time they didn't have the chemical. Now they do. So that's okay. I'm going to let that. I don't have government vouchers. I could play a science voucher and make that different, but I don't think I'm quite ready to do that yet. So, and actually, they're supposed to be going first now. I think I went first that turn, so I need to give them 2 turns in a row next time. So he's going to go here. That's going to move that target value up 1. He's going to go here and discard a rain. And then they're going to take that action. So he is going to target... He's going to target a spot where he has a chemical, which he can replace these. So if he's got something that's going to give him a deal, he'll do that, but he doesn't. So he's going to have to just go where he has a chemical based on priority, which is going to be what's first? Is it going to be wind? Wind is going to be first, or fog, rather. So he is going to discard that, and he is going to put a bot here. And does he get... I forget if he gets that token. I don't think he does, because he's just doing the second area. Yeah, I don't think he gets that. Alright. And then it is... We're going to run this machine. So we're looking for a water, and that's going over there, and that's going there. And our timer is getting short here. So we're going to have to do whatever we're going to do to get points very shortly. And then he's going to get... I'm going to let him go first again, because that is... They are first player now. I forgot that they switched. So he would go to the supplies already there. So he goes to the first main action. He's going to go there. And he's going to do all the things there. So let's see what he does in the government location. Saboteurs take one chemical from the supply based on what they don't have. So doesn't have that. Takes from the bottom up because of the previous report. Done. Flip a blue side up subsidy tile based on the weather and priority indicator. So rain, lowest available, flips it. Okay. Then determine a branch they will interact with, where all the bot spaces are occupied, where the saboteurs have no chemicals matching any spaces. So here he's only got a blue chemical. He is only going to be able to go here. That is his option. He will pay the chemical, and he will take the lowest one and remove it from the game and put a gear in its place. Done. Okay. I think that's his turn. And then he's going to choose. He would grab this, but I think because he can't, yeah, target value increases by 5. Dang it. So 47. Well, that is cruddy to see the target value increase so much. Going to research next. I think I've got a robot. I've got a chemical. I need to get something here going. I think I'm going to go here because, oh, well, hold on a second. Hold on a second. We've got 2 science vouchers. I wonder if I should go to supply. Got tons of supply stuff, but I really like the idea of Latif moving and getting research. Well, I could take the research action without paying a chemical, or I could do this and get a chemical or a gear. I mean, there's options there. Try to fix the weather. I think we're going to have to be able to set ourselves up to get something. That's our best option there. So I am going to move this into this space, and I think, is the gear what I need more? Or the chemical? I think we're going to be fixing that weather. So I am going to go with I don't have space for that particular chemical. Shoot. So we might go in after the sun. That might be our option. Yep. So I'm going to get a green chemical. So I'm using this, I'm discarding this, I forget what that's called, income voucher or something like that. That's my free, kind of my pre-turn free action. And basically I'm doing that so I can get a chemical. And I set a goal. So I've got a robot goal here. I can't remember where the goals are hard to get. I'm probably not going to get many of those goals, but I'm doing that. And then I can take my turn, which is probably going to be going to research here, but I have, see, that's the thing, I don't need all of that. What I need is probably to go to the supply, honestly, because I can go up any voucher I want here. Shoot, I'm going to get a supply voucher, and I'm just going to load up on supplies, and probably not do this the rest of the game, but I can probably, oh man, it just looks like I can hash out quite a few things here. So, what have I had a hard time getting a space for white? And unfortunately, I don't have a white there. I don't want to spend a voucher just to do that. I am going to spend a voucher so that I can take first player, keep them from getting more stuff from that. Well, shoot. I think we will spend a voucher to grab this and put it there. And give us a spot for a blue chemical. And now we're going to have to do one. This is a free lab. So if I do a free lab without having to pay a chemical, that's awfully good. I am going to go, I'm going to spend 2 vouchers, and I'm going to do this robot, and I am going to get a free lab without having to pay the chemical. And that means I can put my robot out on the lab. I really want to do sun, so I am going to, what do I not have? I don't have a blue chemical. I'm just going to go there so I don't have to worry about the blue chemical. That's my lab deal. And let's see. I can still, well, these cost 3. Well, and I can't do these until I've gotten those. So that's 6 one, half thousand the other. But I could get a chemical if I go down 1 and 2, and I can grab another robot and get a chemical here. Put it there. That's not bad. I accept that. And that is the end of my turn. I went second, so then he is going to look for a wind and throw it out. And that's going to go here and there. He's going to go there. We're getting close to end game here, folks. Close to end game. All right. So he's going to go over here to Latif. It's going to raise that 1. That's going to go there. Did I actually take an action? I took this fly action. I was like, did I take an action? That's the kind of game it is. Makes you forget what you actually did. All right. The turn order is definitely changing. The end of last turn. Well, they went first. So it's not his turn yet, actually. It's not his turn. That's going to flip at the end, and then it's my turn first. I get another turn. So let's pull that back down a couple. Oh, it's 1. I think it's just 1. All right. So I'm going to get to do something here, which I might end up triggering his thing at the end. That'll give me a government voucher, and I really need to get that sun before it disappears. So I think I'm going to. I'm going to go here. It gives me a government voucher. It gives me a science voucher. Latif is going to go here. And I really want that sun. So I am going to place a robot here. Pay a chemical. And that's going to give me a gear of my choice. I don't know which of these things we're going to end up running. So that's hard to say. I mean, the wind, I might just go hard after sun. That might be the thing I do. Oh, and at the beginning of my turn, I didn't do this. Yeah, so I could have done this at the beginning of my turn, lab deal, and I'll put that there. I think that's a good deal. And yeah, I did that, and I get a gear. So now I got to decide which gear I would want. We'll go with the pink gear. I don't have a pink gear. Or do we want to go with white gear? Ooh, that's a tough choice. All right, I'm going to go pink gear. Tough to know, but I'm going to do with that. All right, so that's my turn. Now, that branch is full. This is a thing. I don't think it runs yet. Move your scientist, move Latif, supply, government, citations. What time is it? I need to It's early in the morning, so I got 15 minutes. See if we can finish this in 15 minutes. Latif's lab, published paper, chemical. Alright, so the experiment is going to run. The experiment is definitely running, so I'm definitely going to keep that on that page so I can keep track of that. But it's not running yet. We're gonna wait till the end of the Saboteur's turn, and so now they're gonna go over here, and now they're gonna get 2 things that they get to do. So let's go back to the instruction book and see where they're gonna go and how they're gonna target stuff. I do not like how much I have to read in this game. It's not, I don't know, maybe it's just my memory is not as good. I could remember it, but move one of their bots from the hideout to the research space based on the weather and priority indicated in the previous report. So weather is this, and it's just going to go in the top one. We'll go there. And there's no empty. Do not pay the additional costs if they place their bot without a space. Now what happens if there's all 3 there, huh? Alright, so now out of the remaining branches, they don't have any chemicals, so take 1 chemical from the supply based on that, and then they're going to lose a card, and that goes there. So that's going to happen, but they completed a branch, so I think there's also I think that we do something with the research and development. Completing, if you place the last bot in a branch, take an investment token tile from the research token. So I'm thinking they would normally get this. No, they didn't pay the chemical, so they wouldn't have gotten it. So that wouldn't have mattered. We'll place the last bot in the branch, take an investment token tile instead of the research token. Well, that might be, we might need to look at a special action here. Let's see. When the solo completes a thing, running an experiment, that is not what I want. Completing a branch, R&D. Alright. 2-0. Okay. Do they have matching up before? Huh. Well, that's interesting. I am not 100% sure. So what happens when you complete a branch normally? Completing a branch, if you place the last bot in the branch, take a breakthrough token. Also, if that type of weather still has a lock token in the citation space, this type of weather, move the lock. So I'm guessing, because we have a branch complete, we remove the lock, but there's only a breakthrough. So the branch is complete, so you could do a breakthrough there in theory if you have the paper for it. Oh well, I don't think that helps me. I feel like they should be able to get, I don't know, maybe they get enough stuff that it's not significant, but they should get one of these award tokens, well, don't they? That seems odd. That's Latif's lab is where they get award tokens. Huh, maybe I just ran into a weird, it's a weird situation where they just didn't get the stuff and they were out of chemical on the second one. So they just got the chemical and lost a card. So that's very odd. That was an interesting mix of, they didn't get as much as I would have thought, and I would have thought the target value would have raised as well, but that didn't happen either. So, oh well, if you notice where I missed that in the rules, definitely let me know. It doesn't seem to be in the obvious areas that I would expect it to be. All right. Now, I could do a research action without paying a chemical. That would not be a bad thing. But I've got no robots, so I couldn't actually place a robot due to lack of robots. So that's not going to happen. Wow. We are in an interesting... Oh, we do get income. I forgot. They were last player, so Latif is going to give us some income. And that is going to give me, let's see, 1 lab voucher, 1 R&D, 1 government, 1 science, I'm full, 1 of those. I get a gear, which is kind of cool. I'll take that gear. And I get a chemical, which is kind of cool. I will take that chemical. And I get a free. I get a free thing here. Oh, and that had to run. We actually are supposed to run that first. So let's let this run. Let me see how the running of the machine works. This is what I needed. All right. All right. Let's see. Run the weather experiment. Okay. Check the experiment runs or what? It does run. There's a bot in every space in the active branch. No, it doesn't run. Huh. If the experiment runs, the experiment tile in the display matching the weather of the active branch is known as the active experiment tile. If there's more than one, blah blah blah. Each player with a bot in the active director in the active branch returns them in the following order. Return your bots to your workshop. Okay, so I'm going to return these bots to my workshop. Done. Now I have bots. If you don't have space for a bot, return it to an empty space in the top section. Blah, blah, blah. You may pay the number of science vouchers, which is 2. I'm going to pay that. Boom. If you do, continue with steps 3 through 4. So we're going to gain CP as depicted. For each bot I returned 2 bots. So I gained 12. So 21. Right? 9, 19, 20, yeah. Okay. Got it. Alright. And then gain one of the 2 benefits. So it's either a bot or one of those tiles. Well, that is real interesting. The bot will give me that. And then I could get to these bots, which would be kind of cool. More income. Or I could do that, which would give me another gold tile. I kind of think I need to do this one. I'm going to do that. Let's see. That's going to go there. I'm going to get this, right? Take a research token. So I am going to get a research token. I'll take it. And this is going to disappear. And then this is going to come over to there. And then that's going to come down. This guy comes off. And there's something we do. The extreme weather tile. So the sun is going to be now there. We're at level 2. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's that. Now, that was the end of the turn. The reason that mattered, because when he went here, it would have just given potentially more income if I'd used the bot, but I didn't use the bot. So the question is, did I go here? That was their last turn. I think that was the turn I took. But I can either take a research at my turn, which is tempting. Gives me another machine part. Ooh. But that's just a basic. That's a basic one. It's not bad. Not quite there. That's not a bad one. And I could use that sun. So I think I'm going to use my free action there. I don't have to pay the chemical. I just needed the robot, which I would have had after that machine ran. And so that's going to go there. We don't have to pay the chemical, but what I wanted was this, because now I have the ability to cite a paper. That is what I needed. Okay. So then on my turn, I am going to probably go to the lab, right? I really need to cite a paper. That's what needs to happen. So if I go here and I pay, and I think I can do all of these things. What does that take? A pink chemical? I might have it. Let's pay 3, and I can't remember. This should have moved up before, and this should move up now, because we're going to do both, but we're going to do this first. So this is going to move over. That's going to give me a chemical. That's fantastic. My lab voucher. Oh, we're not doing that action. Goes down 2, and we are citing sun. So that's going to go there. We're going to get points based on these. So I think it's 2 per. 2, 4, 6. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we get a token, but I already have one. I cannot get one. I think you have to have room for it over to the side. Citations, supply. Let's double check on the lab. Publish a paper. 2 CP for each research token, and 4 for each award. Then row, take an investment token and place it to the left of your laboratory. Oh, maybe you don't. Pay a science voucher. So I can pay a science voucher to then gain another 3 CP. 1, 2, 3, because I unlocked the citation token. Well, that's kind of cool. Well, I got my high score already. My question is, can I take one of those if I don't have room for it on the side of my board? I would think no, but we're going to check. I'm going to assume I can't get it, so I'm going to go with that, because I'm running short on time here. So that was my turn, and then it's their turn. They are already here, so they're going to move here, and they're going to have to go where they have a chemical. So they're going to target. They're going to target that. They're going to go there, use that chemical, and they would get a thing, but they don't have the ability to do it. So this is going to go 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe that's what happens, because they have room and they have 3 bots in there. But I don't think that does. I don't think that does anything for it. All right. So then this machine is going to try to run. Oh, it's full. All right. So target value is going to go up. I think when the machine runs, it goes up for them. That guy's going to come over there. Government runs the machine. Running an experiment. Oh. R&D. To the hideout and raise the target depicted on the experiment tile. Oh, okay. So that tile that's there, they get 3. 1, 2, 3. And then that goes over. And then this will go here. And this will go out. And the weather is now at level 3 for that one. Okay. All right. So I think that is all of those I have cited. I could do a breakthrough. Yeah, turn order's good. Whoops. I think I am going to go for a breakthrough here. So if I go here, it's going to give me a government voucher and a science voucher. And I could do all 3 things. And I could pay, let's see, to switch chemicals. 1, 2. And I can flip-flop. See, I can move stuff around in my lab. I'm going to flip-flop this with this. Okay? And so for one action, I'm going to go here and pay a chemical, and then I've got to pay another chemical to do that thing. That gives me a robot, so I will take that robot, which gives me 1 of anything. I guess, no, I'll take a science. And then I can do a breakthrough. So, holy moly, haven't done one of these in a minute. So let's see what happens when I get a breakthrough. This is impressive. All right, research, completing a research breakthrough. Place the last spot in the branch, take an investment tile instead of a research token. Well, I don't have room for investment tile, so that's not going to happen. Although, I think at the beginning of my turn, I could have, I forgot to do this, I could have discarded this to place a goal. Which probably would have been this one. Probably would have done that one and just gotten another thing there, because then when I do that I could actually get one back. That would work. Okay, so I would do that, and then breakthrough. Choose a row in your office where you have published a paper and a breakthrough marker is on the rightmost space. Done. Pay a number of science vouchers as depicted on the extreme weather tile. That is 1 science voucher. Done. And it matches the weather of the chosen row, 0 to 2, and then move the breakthrough markers from that row to an empty space on the extreme weather tile, gaining the benefit depicted on the space. So I'm going to gain 2 points. That's what I want. All right. Build the prototype, granting you CP to you and possibly to other players. Take an award token from the reserve. Done. All right. Take it. And it actually goes here. Take a Nobel Prize. After performing this action, if all the spaces on the extreme weather tile are full, return the tile to the top of the corresponding stack next to the board. Discard any breakthrough markers. Oh, okay, so it's not full. Building a prototype. You must provide the machine parts depicted on the extreme weather tile, if any, and then for each research space in the branch, If there is no bot in the space, you must provide the machine part to pick in the space. If there is one of your bots, you gain 2p. So I'm going to gain 6 CP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because there are 6 spaces I have bots. If there is another player's bot in the branch, blah, blah, blah. I gain 2 CP for each machine part provided. So machine parts I can provide are pink, green, and white. Okay? So pink, green, and I can at any time pay a couple of vouchers to flip-flop a thing. So we're going to do that, and we're going to pay pink, green, and white. We're going to do all of those machine parts. And additional parts return this way. 2 CP for each machine part provided. So that's 6 more CP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Done. And then it is their turn, right? Yeah. So they are going to go back to the lab. Boom. And they're going to gain 1 of these tokens. And then they're going to do other things. They don't have a chemical, so they're just going to get the highest chemical that's cheapest that they don't have and move their, and then the top card of this goes away, and then that's going to go there, and then that's going to flip. Done. And then it is my turn. Well, I think what I'm going to do is pause right here. Okay. So here we are. I did the clearing of the machine running and everything. So I'm kind of picking up after I did my cleanup. And we're here. Basically, this is going to be the final turn of the game. And we'll finish this round because there's no more things there. What I don't want to happen is for them to end the game, or for the game to end because we get a third tile that comes out. And I don't think I have to worry about that because nothing here is going to cause the sun to run to where a new tile would come out. So I think we're good on that. And then there are a couple of other potential things, but it's like their deck running out will give them an automatic win. I don't think that's going to happen. So I think we're good. I think I just need to take my final turn and then maybe see if I can score some points, and then we'll go from there. Now, I've got these gold tiles, and if I could get rid of all these robots, I could score that one, and if I could get rid of this, I could score this one, which is, well, actually I have to get a robot into one of these 2 areas, and I could score that, which would be kind of neat. But I'm not terribly concerned about that. It would just be neat to score. It's only like 3 points, so scoring the gold tile is not huge. Now, I do have the option of maybe getting one of these, which could give me another potential to sight. But I don't know that I would be able to actually sight. It would just give me the things that I need to do one of those things. And I don't know how worth it is. Now, I could get a robot here. I could get a... Let's see, I'm not getting anything here. I'm not filling anything up. That's not going to help. So deciding on this last turn is pretty difficult. These cost 3, these robots that are down in my thing here cost 3 vouchers. So getting those is going to be awfully tough. I could get a science voucher. No, I can't get a science voucher, sorry. I could get 2 research vouchers here. But I think at the very beginning of my turn, the thing that I really want is I want to use this because it's there, and if I don't use it, it's not getting used. And the question is, do I slide a gold tile up and get a chemical or a gear, which could give me some options, especially here, because I could get a robot in a government area and I would just need a white gear. So that's a very doable thing. And I also want to see what are the goals that I could get here. So this tile here, which is kind of hard to see, I'll try to hold it up there. I'm looking at that one, and that, what does that give me if I get it? At least 5 different types of tokens in the government column of your office. Well, I only have 3. I'm only going to have 3 unless I move this down here and got another one of those. Which, that could happen. That could happen. I could actually obtain that goal. Not impossible. And I would get both of those goals, which would be kind of cool. 12, which is this one. At least 12 tokens in rows of your office. That is not going to happen. This is have 4 published papers. That's not going to happen. I'm kind of showing these fast, I'm sorry. And this is at least 5 bots in R&D. And I have 4. So if I got a 5th bot there, I could do that. But this one is probably the one that's going to be the most likely to get done. And I could potentially get it, especially if I get one more thing. I won't be able to cite a paper, but I could get one more thing, which is kind of cool. So that might be the option I want to go for. Now, the 2 things I can do, I can either move a goal tile up, and then that gives me an end-game goal that I could potentially get, or I can activate a funding row of whatever. I'd flip over one of these 2 that's already up here. So I'd get government funding, or I'd get my lab funding, which I definitely would go with government funding because that's the one that I have the most stuff on, which would give me another funding voucher. Could give me an endpoint, a chemical, and that. And honestly, I think getting this goal is going to be best, because if I go there, that's going to immediately give me a white gear. And I think the thing I want to do is go over here. I have 1 funding ticket. Now the question is, can I do 2 things? I would have to spend 3 to go up, and that would be to get a subsidy. Would that even be worth the effort to do if I was to do that? I don't think it would. I would need to get another voucher, which I don't think I can in this case. I think I'm going to be stuck with this one. And I have a science voucher, but if I can get more out of this than I have, then that's great, because that would give me an extra lab or an extra research not requiring a chemical, which could, can I, with a blue chemical, I'd need another gear. I only have a blue and a green chemical, so I'd have to get another chemical to do that. It would give me another. No, it would just give me that. I don't think that's going to be worth it. I'm not going to think through all of that. I'm just going to go here on that space, and that's going to give me a lab voucher. It's going to cost me one of these vouchers, and I'm going to put a robot here, and then I'm going to take the space off of here. I'll do this one and go there, and this is going to come down to here. That will go there, and then on my turn I can place these at the end of my turn, place those there. And I think that is all of my turn. I think that's it. All right. So then they're going to get their turn. because they do get to do that. He's going to go there. They're going to find a robot for which they have a chemical that they can spend. This is the only place they could go. Going to go to the top one, and they are going to get that, which they can. They have room for it. They can do it. But it doesn't give them the trips that they need to get to wreak havoc. And so they are not able to wreak havoc. And I believe, because, let me double check, that this is the end of the game. I think this is the end of the game. Time runs out. You gain, this happens if the game is triggered, any of the regular in-game conditions. All the research spaces are, okay, you gain the Nobel. The last experiment tile is placed in display. So the last experiment tile is placed in the display. One more round. So we did it. We just did that round and then proceed to final scoring. Okay. So on final scoring, let's see. And they would have gotten one more point because there was a person to their left. So we're going to give them that. All right. If a let's do the final scoring. All right. Resolve any remaining experiments as normal. But do not place new extreme weather tiles at this time. Raise the target value by 30. Oh my gosh. 56, 66, 76, 86. Are you kidding me? Raise the target value by 30? Do not score anything for Saboteurs. What? Raise the target value by 30. I was supposed to start on 35, wasn't I? That is unreal. That's like no way. Oh man, you have got to cite like 3 papers and have a breaker or two to beat this thing. Wow. Did I start it on the right? You start on 25 or 35, I'm pretty sure. Block, take the Saboteur, depict it, and place it in the middle space. Okay. 3 award tokens. That's a different thing. Remaining goals. Select color players. 35 CP. That's the initial target value. And in final scoring, you increase the target value by 30. Holy moly. Okay. All right. Well, we'll do final scoring. I'm not winning this. I will have my best score. I'll take the best score, but this is gonna be terrible. I didn't get the Nobel Prize. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, we need scoring. Okay, just before final scoring, all players in turn order may place any research tokens and award tokens they have in their library. I did that. All right. Each player then scores the following. CP according to the position of their marker on each funding track. Well, and this would have moved up 1 for what it was worth. I don't think it mattered. So I get 5 points for that. So I'm at 44. I'm at 49. And then 5 points for each goal completed. Well, I had 1 goal because I had 5 here in the government space. And I got 4. I got 4 different research departments. So I got 10. So that's going to get me to 59. Okay. I'll take that. That's not the worst. It's not the worst. All right. Let's go back to final scoring here. I don't think I get anything else. I didn't have the Nobel Prize. Yeah. So, I mean, if you can get these goals... I didn't get my robots out. That's a tough one to get those out. But there you go. That's Weather Machine. Very difficult. I definitely had my most successful game, getting up to 59 points, but with the 30 bonus, 76, 66, 56. I thought I was going to be shooting for 56. So if I had gotten what I thought I was going to get, I would have beaten him. But 30 points. That is just I'm just beside myself that is what they're giving. Raise the target value by 30. Wow. Dang. That is crazy. Otherwise, you join the rest of the unemployed scientists of one of the great lightning technologies and updating your resume. Huh. Wow. All right. Well. That is. Whoops. That is wild. Well, that is Weather Machine. It is probably It is thus far of all the list starters I've played, it's my least favorite. This was definitely the better game, that I played out of all the games. Which surprisingly, I saved it for video. Usually, I play my worst on video, but it's not bad. It's kind of interesting. It's a little overly convolutedly crunchy to me, and the theme isn't a really, really excellent theme in my book as far as being something that really makes sense to me. However, there it is. If you like Weather Machine, if you've played it, I'd love to see comments. If I made mistakes, please let me know. But thanks for joining Unraveled Game Thoughts, and until next time, have a great evening.